Authorization, can he get in? No, he cannot.
Touchdown Tampa Bay, fire the cannon.
He did what? Oh, he caught
Unbelievable! Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host, Simon Conboy. Continuing on with the draft preview series, with the draft being not too far off now. This episode will be focusing on the Green Bay Packers, winners of the NFC North last season. So if you've not seen one of these episodes before, I'm just going through the team's needs heading into the draft and some of the players that I think they may look at and consider taking in the first 3 rounds, or players that I think might be a good fit for them. So heading into free agency, the Packers' needs, I had cornerback, inside linebacker and running back. Now I've only made one change to that list, where I think guard has now, with TJ Lang heading over to the Lions, becoming a bigger need than corner. They've got some young guys at corner that they've drafted recently. I think in terms of high in the draft, I don't think it's going to be prioritised as much as these 3 positions. I'm expecting to see the 3 needs I've got here, as I said, backer, running back and guard, addressed in those first 3 rounds. I think they need to look for some players that can come in and contribute at those positions right away. Whilst Ty Montgomery's done an admirable job as a running back for them, they need to find a talented runner. This is certainly a good draft to do that in. Rodgers had great protection for much of his time in Green Bay. I expect to see him continue to do that and put an emphasis on attempting to do that. And the inside back spot has been a problem for a while. They've really needed an impact player. For that reason, in the first round in my mock, I have given the Packers TJ Watt, the linebacker from Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure if he's available, he will be the pick. I can't see any of the higher rated backers necessarily falling to them. Of course, if McCaffrey falls, I think he's probably the pick, but I don't think he gets them at that point. I think he would be a wonderful fit in that offense. I don't think Aaron Rodgers had a running back quite like him. I think he'd fit in great. It's a very pass-heavy offense. I think if they could get a running back that can do what he can do in the receiving game, along with his running skill, he would be an incredible weapon for Aaron Rodgers to have. Other consideration for the first round, I think Forrest Lamp is my top-rated lineman in this draft. I think he's a consideration if he falls to them, but I simply don't think he does. So I'd expect them to go with TJ Watt. Now, assuming that does end up being the case in the second round, that's where I think they look to the running back position. So you could potentially get a guy like Donta Foreman from Texas. Not sure he gets that far. Maybe a guy like Kareem Hunt. Joe Mixon is sort of the wild card of the draft at the running back spot. He's got possibly first round talent, but some off the field issues. I'm not sure where a team would take him. It doesn't seem like the Packers don't seem like a team that would consider him, in all honesty. So those are some options there. Possibly Dan Feeney if he falls to them. Again, they're picking too far back in round 2. If they really like him, they could potentially consider trading up there. So those sort of picks. Again, I think these 3 positions are attacked in an order, and then running back round 3. As I say, Kareem Hunt I think would be a good value for them there. They could get Duke Riley, the inside back from LSU. I'm not hugely familiar with the linebackers at this point coming out in the draft. I've sort of just started looking into them, but he was someone who looked on tape like I could see him fitting well in that scheme. Also potentially for round 2, Raekwon McMillan, the Ohio State backer. I'm not sure he necessarily would fit what they do too well, but I think if he gets them at the end of round 2, I think he'd offer reasonable value at that point, so he'd be worth consideration. He's not going to get to them in round 3, I don't think. Those are just some examples of the picks I can see the Packers going for. Now, it's always tough with them because I often think they do a great job with guys in late rounds, particularly the offensive linemen. So there's a chance that they don't address guard. If a guy like Malik McDowell or Caleb Brantley falls to them in round 2, wouldn't be too shocked there. I think they could do with a talented younger defensive lineman rotation. Whilst they've took a first round, spent a first round pick on a lineman last year, I think continuing to strengthen that rotation wouldn't be a bad move, and I think they'd see value there in those guys. So that's the Packers for you. What do you guys think? Do you think these are the primary needs? I expect to see them take a corner at some point in the later rounds. They tend to take a flyer on a guy, and they've done a pretty good job with it. But those three positions, I absolutely expect them to be addressed. Do you agree? If there are any other needs, what do you think they are? Let me know, whether it's in the comments below, the Cover Zero Facebook page, or find me on Twitter at Simon Conboy. I'll be more than happy to try and get back to absolutely anyone who does so. Thanks for watching the show. Hit over 1,000 views at this point, so really pleased that people have been checking us out. Thank you very much for doing that, and if you've enjoyed it, check out some more. Hopefully you enjoy them too. I've got all the free agency reviews done and some other interesting bits and pieces that I think people will enjoy. I'm going to continue on with these draft previews leading up to the draft, as long as some other bits I'm going to do in between. So check those out, and if you enjoy them, like, share, subscribe, and feel free to check out the Patreon and all that good stuff. It'd be greatly appreciated. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for your time, and as always, go Bucks.